Hello everyone. So, I told you guys that I would have time this week to do the reading, and I did find time. So, right now I am getting over a really bad bout of bronchitis, so I apologize if my voice goes in and out. I've got quite a bit of mucus and congestion going on. But I'm powering through it, so let me go ahead and get started, tell you what I've got out for today. I have a stick of spiritual incense burning, just to kind of get the essence of spirit flowing today. As always, I have my white tea light for spirit burning. Selenite to attract all kinds of positive energies to the reading table, black tourmaline to deflect negativity. Very interesting today. I was really guided to add my personal howlite carved buffalo fetish to the reading table. That's not normally something that I would do, is add one of my personal altar fetishes to a reading. Howlite is very much a stone of wisdom, very much a stone of giveaway. It is very sacred to buffalo, and very sacred to the giveaway, to the giveaway ceremony, which I think is very interesting at this time of year, considering that at this time of year we're actually, sowing rather than reaping. So I think that right now buffalo is actually kind of coming in more in the aspect of wisdom and kind of balancing earth energy with spirit energy, and kind of trying to guide you to finding that balance right now. And so I think that's more of why he wanted to be part of the reading today. So, and next to him I have a Lemurian crystal, which is also something I would not normally add to the reading table. Lemurian crystals are very unique in that they actually are not mined. They actually grow out of the ground. They are said to have the spirit of various inhabitants from ancient Lemuria or Atlantis, or other ancient civilizations residing within them, and that is why they actually grow up out of the ground. So it doesn't matter how many of them you collect, they will continue to grow up out of the ground. They will continue to appear. They will continue to, I don't want to say reproduce, but they will continue to appear. They will continue to grow. And so what I heard when I picked up this crystal and set it on the table was that while we are working on finding that balance between earth and sky, between the physical and the spiritual, is kind of heeding the words, or heeding the guidance of the past. So next to that I have my beautiful turquoise to represent the divine. Next to that I have my beautiful aura calcite, which is used to kind of guide you into fearlessness. Next to that I have lapis lazuli, which is used for truth, or to kind of get to the heart of the matter. Then I have my amethyst, which is used for psychism and clairvoyance. Then I have garnet for grounding, rhodonite for more or less finding something that has been lost. Next to that, I have my beautiful fluorite for balancing energies. And last but not least is my beautiful clear quartz for clarity. And the deck that I chose today is the Soul's Journey deck by James Van Praagh. Like I said, this week, basically what I've been feeling is just kind of a quickening of spirit. What I felt for this year was that there was going to be a lot of spirit energy going around, and this week is no exception. Between Buffalo and the Lemurian crystal that wanted to be part of this today, and then this deck and the incense, you know, all of this just combined together, I think this week we will definitely be seeing a quickening, so I am really anxious to see what these cards have to say. So let's go ahead and take a look at Monday and Tuesday. And we have change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. That is the affirmation with this card. So for the beginning of the week, this is what we need to not necessarily focus on, but meditate on. For me personally, there is a huge difference between focus and meditate. When you focus on something, you're putting all of your intent into it. When you meditate on it, what you're doing is you are playing with the idea without actually accepting it. I don't know how else to explain the differentiation, but whatever you decide to do, whether you decide to focus on it and actually make it the main focus of this week for you, or if you want to actually sit down and make it part of your meditation regimen, you know, just something that, that you meditate on, something that you know, an idea that you play around with without actually accepting as part of your daily routine. It's definitely, it has to become part of your thought process. It has to become part of your mental awareness. Simply because nothing in the physical can survive without change. And because the spiritual is so tied to the physical, very few things in the spiritual can survive without change either. Very few things. So, for the beginning of this week, change is going to be a very, very important part of what we take on. Whether it's finding a new job, you know, if it's something that you think you need to do. I personally am in the process of trying to find a new job simply because I hate where I'm at. I hate it to the point that I go into work and, you know, I deal with a difficult customer and I turn around and I see my boss and I literally have to bite my tongue so that I don't, you know, turn around and say I quit and just walk out on her like every other person before me has done, simply because I know that she does not deserve that. It is not her fault that the place that we work is difficult. You know, I know it is not her fault the place that we work is difficult. I know that it is not my coworker's fault that the place that we work is difficult. You know, or it could be that you need to be the voice of change that makes things happen in your place of work. It could be that you need to make the changes in your home. It could be that you actually need to make a physical change of home, you know, having to move your place of residence. It could be having to change your relationship or change something in your relationship. You know, it could be just having to define what change is to you. It could be any number of things, you know, whether it's something that you have to actually focus on or just something that you need to, you know, kind of play around with and figure out what it is. You know, there is a difference between focus and meditation. So for the beginning of this week, just kind of figure out what it is to you and what it has to be for you. So for the middle of the week, we have loneliness. I know that I am never alone. That is the affirmation for the middle of this week. The thing about being in tune with spirit, when you are truly, truly in tune with spirit, is that once you feel spirit, you feel every other spirit, every other human and animal spirit, every other sentient spirit and non-sentient spirit in this universe. You feel every human, every animal, every tree, every rock, every plant, every spirit as one, and yet as an individual, even just for an instant. You know, in that moment, you feel all of spirit. And in that moment, you know you're not alone, even when you are alone. And it is the most incredible feeling in the world. And it is the most difficult feeling to attain in the world. Simply because it is one of the most difficult planes to get to. But the thing is, we begin the week in a place of change. Okay? So where we begin is ultimately where we must end. We begin with change that gets us to that place where we are not alone. So where we begin with change is where we must end with change. And change is never ending. So, in the middle of the week, even though you may have these feelings of being alone, if you can get to that place, even for an instant, whether it's conscious or unconscious in a dream or during a meditation, during astral travel or anything like that, you will know it as soon as it happens, because it takes over your entire body. You know, it could be if you shake hands with somebody who is in tune with spirit. That's how it happened for me. Was I shook hands with somebody who was so in tune with spirit that it shook me. I felt that connection through them. And I haven't been able to recreate it for myself, but I've been able to get so close. And I understand that there are changes that have to be made, but I'm still in the process of figuring out what those changes are. So, once you get to that point, you will figure out what those changes have to be, if that makes any sense. So far this week, what we've been seeing is that is the change that you will be making. Is a change from loneliness. You know, whether you feel lonely amongst people or whether you feel lonely just with yourself. You know, depression is something that I suffer from, you know, a lot. I'm sure any of you that follow my page, you've seen that a lot in my posts lately. And several of you have actually, you know, messaged me and we've discussed it. And we do share a lot of the same problems. I think that this week Spirit is actually going to kind of offer a kind of a solution for you as an individual, to kind of change that feeling of being alone when you are alone. Not because you are alone, but when you feel like you need to be by yourself. Because that's what depression does. You can't physically be around other people. I know with me personally, I always feel like I cannot physically be around other people because I feel like I cannot speak to them like I speak a different language. Like there's some kind of barrier. I can't communicate with them. And so I think this week that's what Spirit is going to do for you. If you take the necessary steps here and figure out what changes you can make for you. Whether it's something you need to focus on for you, or if it's something you simply need to define what it means for you. If that makes any sense. And I really hope it does. So, okay, for this weekend, we have perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Oh, this is such a beautiful way to finish this weekend. Or, you know, to finish this week. So, the first, you know, 4 or 5 days of this week are going to be very, very trying. They're going to be very difficult, very emotionally, spiritual. Guys, it got cut, guys. It off. But, so basically just got back on here to wish you guys a wonderful week, and I will see you guys next week. So I will talk to you later.